It's time to get unmasked. Please welcome your host, Pamela Elaine Nichols and Cheryl A.S. Haley.
Hello, and welcome to Unmasked Real Talk Live. This is a place where we get real about topics not often discussed authentically. The topics we choose support our goal to help you feel better, look better, and live better. Today's show is to help you live better. Today's raffle, because you know we love giving away gifts. Today's raffle is a I do, I don't discount consultation for yourself or give to a friend. Today's winner can receive a consultation at a significant discount with our guests. If the consultation does not fit your needs, you can always share it with someone you know who does need it. You can gift it to them. Today, we have a very special guest with us, Attorney Lenore Myers. Pamela Elaine, tell us a little bit about today's show and our special guest.
My pleasure, Cheryl. Introducing today's topic again, from I do to I don't, steps to reduce divorce drama. Here's a quote. Let our journey be a testament to the power of grace, respect, and shared understanding, proving that even in parting, there can be peace. You carefully and meticulously plan the details of your wedding and honeymoon, right? At the wedding, you can't wait to declare, I do, while family and friends bear witness to your lifelong commitment of love. Life is good. You're happy. Then it happens. The marriage isn't working. It's over. You know it. Your spouse knows it, but you can't agree on the kids, the house, or the retirement fund. And then the drama begins. Lawyers get involved. Stress hits an all-time high. But our special guest today, Lenore Myers, is a divorce attorney who is different from the norm. Instead of fanning the flames of discontent and acrimony, Attorney Lenore helps couples reduce the drama and find peace in a difficult process. Welcome to the show, Attorney Lenore Myers. Yay!
Thank you for having me. I'm so thrilled to be here.
Oh, Lenore, you don't know how happy I am to have you here on our show. You are the first of our kind on this show, and I'm really excited because I love the perspective you bring on this very difficult thing called divorce. Yeah. But I'm gonna let Cheryl Hurley take us through the first thoughts about this, because she's got some questions for you, and I'm gonna jump in a minute.
Well, one of the things is that, I could tell you, as I listen to, and Lenore, we've had some conversations before and some things that you and Pam and I have done collectively. So,
Yes.
from the perspective of, as a relationship coach, I kind of work with couples that are looking to do whatever it is that they can reconcile. And the thing is, in Pam's introduction of what it is that you do, you try to help them move forward in a peaceable way. I would ask you, what has been the greatest challenge in trying to help people move past and minimize the drama that happens when it's time to go your separate ways?
I think the greatest challenge is couples wanting to be validated for all their perceived unmet needs that happen during the marriage. They want they want to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
They want to get theirs, and they have a lot of people talking in their ears saying, lawyer up, that SOB did this, that, and the other thing to you. Now is their time for a payback.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And when you talk about the other thing, when we think about divorce drama, I'm going to take a different spin and ask another question. When you're working with couples and they both come to the table with their own set of, need to be validated and other concerns that they have, how do you handle, from a faith perspective, not only do they have the drama, But then you have the person, because of different spiritual beliefs, there's a taboo on divorce. And I think that in the introduction, it was read that they both know it's not working. But how do you deal with that, the drama that's associated with that?
Mm.
I think when people come to me, they kind of, that's in the background. The pain is so intense
Hmm.
that the spirituality is put in a dark corner. I mean, the and that's actually unfortunate
Mm-hmm.
because I actually try and bring some of that spirituality in terms of love and compassion. These are two people
Yeah.
that at one point loved one another. They built a life together. There's history there. There's children possibly that they're always going to have interaction with. And so those universal spiritual concepts
Hmm.
of love, compassion, peace, I actually try to bring back in because a lot of times um, those things they don't even understand. They can't even comprehend it. They're so angry, so upset.
Hmm.
Um, they can't feel that way towards the other person because they feel so betrayed.
Hmm.
Um, and so um, that's where I bring that in. Now, taboos about divorce in general in a religion. Well,
Hmm.
if I got that sense, I would say they're not really good candidates for mediation because they haven't resolved that the marriage is over. And then I would suggest either that they counsel with their faith pastor, or there is something called discernment counseling
Hmm.
that's a therapeutic avenue the parties can go to with a therapist who's trained in that to talk about where they are in the marriage, what they feel went wrong, and then to decide, do we want to talk further about that to kind of untangle these knots? Are we done? Do we think maybe we want to reconcile? So sometimes that's helpful too, where parties are torn about whether or not they want to end their marriage.
Well, as one who operates discernment, this is the first time I've ever heard of a discernment counselor, and I'm going to look more into that because I'm like, oh, I need to know
It's
about that.
it's a relatively new niche counseling. Um, and there are more and more therapists that are being trained in it. And it actually was developed by a therapist who was involved with family courts. And a judge said, you know, people they're in the throes of this and they're not even sure they want to get divorced. What can we do to help these people before they start walking across the hot coals to decide whether or not they want to do that? And that is how it was developed by, I believe his name is Bill Doherty.
Okay. Mm,
And it's
I,
really fascinating.
yeah,
interesting.
and this is why, Cheryl, we had to have Lenore on the show because Lenore comes from a very different perspective when it comes to divorce. When couples think about divorcing, the first thing that happens is I'm gonna get my lawyer, and he's gonna get his lawyer, or she's gonna get her lawyer. And Lenore, that's not really where you start. Why don't you tell a little bit of your backstory? Why are you someone who doesn't believe that the first thing you need to grab is a lawyer and think about going to court? Why does that even matter to you?
Um, well, because I think I'm a people person. When I started out in law, I started out in the public defender's office because um, I connect with people, I see their struggles, I want to help.
Hmm.
And when I got into family law, I liked being there as a legal counsel, and I would listen to people for a long time. In fact, my mentor would be like, "You're on the phone with these people too much," but I felt their pain.
Mm.
I'm a nurturer by nature, and I remember being at a Pennsylvania Bar Association seminar about 5 years into the practice of family law. And someone stood up and said, I'm a reformed custody litigator. And I said, that's what I want to be when I grow up. And from there, I started looking for alternatives. I became a certified mediator in 1992. I had to travel to Maryland to take a week-long training course. And I just decided, as John Lennon says, I want to be part of the solution instead of part of the problem. And
Mhm.
it's just been what I've wanted to do from the get-go. I even work with the courts to help parents settle custody cases. That was a job I always wanted to do. Um, I'm just naturally a peacemaker, and it's just a great fit for me. I I have compassion for all the people going through this battle, and I have seen. I was a litigator. I've seen how it just tears people apart, and you get sucked into their drama and lose perspective, and you really don't make things any better, and they actually end up being angry at you. So um it's
Well,
it, it's not it it just wasn't something that made me happy.
okay, so I'm going to ask you to break down into fifth grade language those two terms you've used, litigator, mediator. What are those things and how are they different and why should anyone care?
So a litigator is an attorney who goes into court to battle for your side, who
Mhm.
cherry picks the best parts of your case and cherry bombs the worst parts of the other person's case. And it's just in family law, it's really emotionally painful and pours lots of salt in the wounds. And the attorneys are in charge, and the judge is in charge, and um, the litigants are basically deers in headlights because they they don't really understand what's going on, and it's very traumatizing. Mediation puts the parties in control. The two parties come to discuss settling their issues, and the discussion is facilitated by a mediator.
Mhm.
Mediator doesn't take sides. A mediator makes sure that each side is heard, that each side is that there's a balance, that one side doesn't overrun the other, and the mediator helps the parties come to a resolution that is best for all. It is a win-win situation, whereas litigation is a win-lose situation.
Mhm.
Mm. So when we talk about reducing the divorce drama, one way to reduce that is to consider mediation over fighting it out in court.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
But Lenore, many people don't choose mediation. They go right for their lawyer, right for the other person's spouse's lawyer, and they go at it. That is a problem. Why are they going there first instead of considering mediation, which
I
is, you said,
think
a win-win?
a lot of people really don't know about mediation. As I said, I was a certified mediator back in 93,
Mhm.
and it's just starting to get some real traction.
Mhm.
It's just starting to be something that people are considering. I think some of it is, um, they all they know, divorce law, lawyer. So
Mm,
they immediately go to a lawyer. A lot
mhm,
of lawyers are still not well versed in what mediation is.
Mhm.
And the other thing is, it's sort of a DIY situation. And before, people were not DIYers. I think more people are becoming DIYers. And
mm,
I think also a lot of mediators are not attorneys. So they'll go to a mediator. The mediator will create what's called a memorandum of understanding. And then they'll have to go to a lawyer to do all the legal documents.
mm,
I'm a mediator attorney, so I can help them mediate their agreement. I know the points that they have to cover in that legal agreement because of my legal background. And so I can really hold their hands and walk them through each one of those points.
mm, mhm,
And then when I'm done with the mediation, I take off the mediator hat. I put on my lawyer hat and I become the scrivener, not the advisor, not the legal counsel, just someone that is drafting the legal documents necessary for them to have a marital settlement agreement contract, resolving all of their divorce issues, and then helping them do it themselves, walking through the courts to finalize their divorce.
One-stop shopping is what I hear.
Yes.
One-stop shopping.
Yes,
Gotcha.
exactly.
Well, this leads us to our, sure, I think it's time to get to our unmasked question for Attorney Lenore.
Mm-hmm.
Our unmasked question for you, Attorney Lenore, is what is at the core, the heart of divorce drama between couples? What is this all about? The fighting, the arguing, the beating one another, the backstabbing, the complaining. What is at the core of this?
Well, I can tell you, I was at a symposium and I was at a roundtable discussion, and someone put into very succinct terms for me what I had seen but couldn't distill. It's that everybody has 5 unmet or forbidden needs that are developed by the time they are 5.
Ooh, speak.
And most people choose their partner based on those 5 unmet or forbidden needs. And when they meet one another, they have these similar unmet or forbidden needs. They feel like, I finally met somebody who understands me. They dance my dance. This is the one.
Yeah.
But then they each really, because most people have not done really deep, in-depth work, they don't even understand they have these 5 unmet or forbidden needs. They don't even understand that's what makes them tick. And so when that spouse fails to validate or meet those unmet or forbidden needs that weren't met in childhood or throughout their adult life that they are triggered, they feel betrayed again. And that wound goes deep, and it is, in your fright or flight limbic system, and it builds and it builds and it builds. And it's not the money, it's not the kids. It's that that person that I trusted, that I actually thought really saw me, doesn't see me at all.
Wow.
And that's really where all of this comes up, because it's a survival response.
You know, Lenore, in your sharing that, as I was listening very intently, when you opened up and you were sharing the differences between the litigator and the mediator, it took me back to something you said earlier, and you just used the word again, validation. And when we think about divorce drama, how much of it sounds like a lot of it is rooted in that need for validation. So it's almost like I'm coming to the table expecting to win. So is that possibly why people might take the route of a litigator versus mediation? Because I'm coming to get my point or my need validated.
They think finally someone's going to tell me I'm right. But that's not what is happening. And it's just, and I'm just sort of an armchair student of psychology or behaviorism, but it's a basic need. It's a survival need. An infant needs response from their parent, because if their parent doesn't see them, they don't get fed. Why do the little birds put their little mouths up and chirp, 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 chirp? Because they need their parent to feed them. And that is what that validation is. It's it's a survival. And I need to be seen to survive. It's that basic.
That is so powerful, and like bells and whistles are going off in my head. We have some comments in the chat from a few people. One said, "Whoo, Taking notes. Yes, take those
Oh,
notes. Another says discernment counseling. Wow. Yeah, because most don't know. And someone wants to know, what are those 5 needs? Are you
they're
able to share?
they're different for everybody.
Okay.
They're different for everybody. For some person it might be, I wanted um
Hmm.
I wanted my mom's attention because I was hurt or sad or scared.
Hmm.
And my mom or dad said, "What are you talking about? Stop it. You're it's your imagination."
Mm,
Or,
Mm-hmm.
I want your attention. And mom's like, "Well, I'm doing this." I,
Yeah.
like, stop it. I'm busy. You're not important enough to me. Um,
mhm,
Mm.
or why aren't you smart like your brother?
Yeah.
mm,
So yeah, I hear what you're saying, and it's almost similar to Maslow's hierarchy of
well,
needs. I know that we've heard about that
mhm,
need for self-actualization.
mhm,
There's a need for self-esteem. There's a need for love and belonging that you were just pointing to right there, Lenore. There's a need for safety and security, and there's a psychological need, physiological needs, I should say, like
mhm.
just food, water, clothing, shelter. So you're saying if some of those needs aren't met early on, we're looking for someone to meet that need for us, although we don't even know that that's the need, right? We're not even aware
E-
that this
e-
is the need.
exactly, because there's those triggers.
Exactly.
All of
Mm,
those, the hierarchy of needs, yes,
Yes.
they're general, but it's almost like a little PTSD. Like, and
mm,
that made me feel like my survival is in danger, and
yeah.
it's a lot, and some of it is a lot of nonverbal stuff.
Mhm,
Mm,
Um, and it's so ingrained
mhm,
in DNA and sonomically.
mhm.
Um, people can't even access it.
Right.
They
yeah.
can't even access it. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. You know what it reminds me of, Lenore? Those 5 basic needs remind me of a parallel called the 5 love languages. And right,
mhm.
Cheryl, this is something we teach in our
That's
course. The
exactly.
5 love languages, those love languages or love needs aren't met,
Mhm,
it creates a huge problem in relationships. The love languages, words of affirmation, quality of time, receiving gifts,
mhm,
acts of service, and what am I missing? Words, did I say words of affirmation already?
mhm.
Physical touch.
Physical
Physical, thank you, Cheryl.
touch.
Physical touch.
Mhm,
That the parallel here is amazing what you're saying, because if we don't get those love, if our parents don't speak that love language to us, we go seek it elsewhere.
yeah, yeah,
And when we think we found it, like you were saying, and we fall in love with that
yeah,
person who finally affirms us, and
yes,
then when they stop affirming us, we go from I do to
yeah,
I don't,
yeah,
right? This is such an important piece
yeah,
to keep marriages intact.
yeah,
And if you're going to break up, to understand
yeah.
what has driven this decision to break up, so you don't walk out, what do you say, a hole in your heart and hole in the park. What do you say, Lenore?
A hole in your, not only a hole in your pocket, but a hole in your
A
heart.
hole in your heart.
Or,
You know what? I wanted to kind of throw something else out there
woo,
because Pam hit it, because I was going right to Maslow's hierarchy, because it's a basic need that everybody has, and then the 5 love languages. But when I thought about that, you said earlier from the age of 5. So if you have this unmet need from such a young age, and you grow up to an adult and you marry, you're looking for that need to be met. And if that person is unable to meet that need because they don't even know, and it kind of parallels to something that someone put in the chat, we are expecting an individual to fulfill needs we are not even aware and they are not capable of fulfilling. I mean, that is so powerful, because when you think about it, and the fact of what it is that you do, which I think is so wonderful, our unmasked question was, what is at the core of divorce drama between couples? If people could even get to that place of understanding where
Yes.
it originated, is like, oh, so powerful.
it,
Well,
it, it is, and it's really, everybody needs to do a lot of personal work, and you have to understand what your love language is in order to even ask for it to be, for the other person to fulfill it. And
Yes.
people don't even know that. It's a lot of what they call shadow work that people can do.
Well, what we need to do now is go into some of your takeaways, Lenore. Can you give us 3 takeaways for our listening audience to have?
Sure. Okay, so the first one is divorce drama, or don't litigate, mediate. Many divorces can be settled amicably with both spouses walking away feeling empowered rather than defeated.
Nice. What's the second one?
The second one is divorce is a long journey, so don't walk it alone. Gather a team around you of professionals and confidants who are experienced and compassionate listeners and supporters. It takes a village. It really does.
Yeah. And I think there's at least one more important takeaway about divorce. Drama is a choice.
Yes.
Yes.
Divorce drama is a choice, not a given. So lowering the volume in arguments and dropping the temperature in court battles requires emotional intelligence. And that's a lot of what we were talking about. Like you really have to do some deep work to get through this less scarred.
Yeah, nice.
Absolutely.
We appreciate those. Cheryl, let's go into our raffle.
We want to go right into our raffle. I do again. Today's raffle is a consultation at a significant discount with our special guest. If the consultation is not for you again or your needs, you can always share it with someone you know who does. So let's see who our lucky winner is going to be.
Ooh, you got some people watching. All right.
Okay. Mr. Williams, congratulations. Again, Lenore, we are so grateful that you spent this time with us for being our special guest. And Attorney Lenore, let our audience know how they can stay in touch with you or connect with you.
They can contact me through my email, divorcedonedifferentlypa@gmail.com, or they can go on my website and fill out a contact form, Divorced Done Differently in PA. And all of my contact information is on the website. You can email me, text me, call me. I'm here to help.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. We hope you've noted this, and we'll make sure we put it on our Facebook page and all of our social media handles. Well, ladies, listen up. The Duo Coaches are holding their first empowerment coaching program for men only. It begins December the 14th. Tell the man in your life to email us ASAP as soon as possible to get the information. Sign up for the program will begin soon. We look forward to seeing you next week at our regularly scheduled Unmasked Real Talk Live. Again, thank you for joining us. And thank you again, Attorney.
Thank you, Lenore. See you next time.